Hi everyone, how you doing? Is alright. Welcome to Newcastle Fans TV on a night where England, surprisingly, I would have said before the start of the night that we've ended up winning in Amsterdam. Pretty comfortable 1-0. We'll talk about the game in just a second, but I want to talk about obviously the two Newcastle players who didn't actually make it into that England side, which I'm pretty disappointed about. I'm sure all you lot are as well. So we'll talk about the game in a second, but first of all, John Joe Shelvey should be in that England side on recent form. Now, Gareth Southgate has come out and said that, look, I pick players on form, and that's literally gone out the window already. You look who's in that England side. Lewis Cook didn't even get a kick tonight. He's in that England side. And I generally think that central midfield with England is pretty weak at the present moment. If you look at Jamal Lascelles, I have to ask, yes, Southgate, we know we played well, so come on to the game in the moment, but you're playing a right back at centre back. Is that what he's thinking going into the World Cup? That Kyle Walker's going to be playing on that three at the back, on that right side of those three? Is that what he's thinking? Is that what he wants to go with the World Cup? Is it an idea? I guess he can experiment in friendlies, and this is the perfect time to do it in the build-up. But unfortunately, for our two Newcastle lads, I don't think they'll go to the World Cup. I think they're out of it completely, because this is the time. If Shelvey and Lascelles had been called up, they'll be in there playing the friendlies. I know we've got another friendly on Tuesday, and we'll see how Gareth Southgate picks his side, because a lot of them on the bench will probably start on Tuesday, which is probably the stronger lineup. But all in all, we'll talk about the Dutch in a minute, but let's go all the way back. We'll talk about England in the World Cup. On the main channel, we will be covering England on the main channel throughout the summer as well, but I thought I'd just get a quick live stream on this secondary channel, just to have a little chat with you on the live chat as well, which I can see there as well. Right, so the Dutch, much has been changed. They didn't qualify for the World Cup, and I remember growing up with the Dutch with the De Boer twins and Zenden and Reiziger, Arthur Newman, Kluivert, Mark Overmars. That was my era. Dennis Bergkamp, Wim Jonk, all of those kind of players. That was my era growing up watching Holland. And for me, Holland don't have any world-class players. I tell a lie, they've probably got one, which is Virgil van Dijk. But when I'm talking top peak, I think they've only got Virgil van Dijk, and I think England have only got one, and that's Harry Kane, who was missing tonight. And I think we're actually, although we won the game, I thought that we'll actually miss Harry Kane, because I don't think that Rashford is the answer going forward. More on that later on. Right, so the Dutch lined up, it was Zoet in goal, then it was De Ligt, De Vrij, and Van Dijk. They were playing three at the back, similar to what England were playing, like a 3-4-3, or you want to call it wing-back system when they don't have the ball. Hateboer was making his debut as a right wing-back, and then on the left you had Van Aanholt, who used to be at Newcastle on loan, remember that, in the Championship. And then we had Van Aldum, again another former Newcastle player, alongside Strootman, who's had a lot of injury problems throughout his career. And then he had the front three of Promes, and then he had Memphis Depay, who was playing on the left, and we had Bastos, who we've been linked to several times as a Newcastle. We've been linked to him months and years with Bastos. When I thought he was pro, I thought Dos was pretty bang average, to be fair. In England, on the other hand, again it was 3-4-3. It was Pickford in goal, which surprised me a little bit. I thought Butland might start. Walker as this right centre back, which I've never really seen play. And then it was Stones and Gomez. Gomez is naturally a centre back, so that's not a surprise for me. I know he's playing at right back for Liverpool, but predominantly he is a centre back. And then you had the likes of Kieran Trippier on that right wing back system. On the left, you had Danny Rose. No qualms about those two. I think those two going forward are fantastic, up and down. Centre midfield, Jordan Henderson and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Is Chamberlain the answer going at the World Cup playing in centre midfield? And then you had Rashford as the striker, and then you had Sterling and Lingard running off them in between. And, when you play a friendly, and we were probably a little bit lucky, because a lot of people were looking at the positives saying, look, at least Jamal Lascelles can't get an injury. And Liverpool have picked up an injury through Joe Gomez, and he came off after 10 minutes, and Harry Maguire come on and played in the same position. So maybe it's a beneficial that we don't have Lascelles and Shelvey in there. In the first half, although we won the game overall, the first and second half, there wasn't many chances both sides. I remember Trippier's free kick on the left where John Henson heads it, and it just goes wide. I think that was just after the half-hour mark, and then Dost had a header which just went over, which was, he should have done a lot better, because he's like 6'4", and then I remember just a couple of minutes later, Pickford lost control trying to take him on, but luckily it went out for a goal kick. But the first half was pretty boring, to be fair, and then going into that second half, Rashford Should have had a penalty in my eyes. If VAR was in place in this friendly, we would have had a penalty because Rashford was played through. He takes it around the goalkeeper. He goes down. I think it was De Ligt who brought him down, the young 18-year-old. He brings him down to blatant penalty in my eyes. And England should have had a penalty. That should have been 1-0 and should have been game over. And then Holland, another chance. Sorry, Rose whips the ball in low and Van Dijk gets a touch on it. Can't clear. Comes to Trippier on the edge of the box. Here he fires a Zuet who saves it. And then the substitutions came in. You've seen the likes of Prop and Babel come on for Holland. You see in England do a triple with Vardy, Welbeck, Ali, and the same Rashford, Lingard, Sterling went off as well. Ashley Young was playing left wing back a few minutes later for Danny Rose. Wasn't many chances from there. Cross comes in, Van Dijk gets a touch. Welbeck lays it back to Trippier. That's the best chance I remember in that second half. And then obviously the substitutions slowed the game off. But I have to say that I think that Holland, first of all, I know they're going through a transitional period, but I was not impressed by them at all. I thought they were bang average. I know they've got Ronald Koeman in charge. I know they've got a lot of youngsters, some debutants tonight. I was disappointed not to see Justin Kluivert. He's been ripping up the Eredivisie for the last 2 years. Obviously, Patrick, he used to be a Newcastle striker who was in the ITV studio at night. But all in all, it was pretty disappointing from the Dutch. And you can see why they are struggling. Like I said, I've gone back to when I was young. All those players are reeled off before. You can just see the names at the bottom there going across the screen. I mean, how many of them are actually genuinely world-class players? There's not many. And how many of them players on that list there will get into that England side? Probably 2, 3 max. But all in all, they've got problems, the Dutch, and obviously they're trying to obviously start their new campaign for the Euros when they start. They made England look pretty average. I'll run you through some the chat, what you've been saying. I can only see from Jack Chater down, so apparently Southgate is looking at Dummett. Well, Paul Dummett is actually eligible to play for England, but if he was looking at Dummett, he would have called him up. Simple as that as well. Liam NUFC says, Welbeck, what's he doing in the team? Jamal Lascelles has scored the same amount of goals as Danny Welbeck this season in the Premier League. I mean, Glenn Murray, although he's not the greatest footballer, should have been in this England side as well. Yes, he hasn't got the technical abilities of Danny Welbeck. He can't stretch the defence. But I know some of Murray's goals have been penalties. But if you go on form, he should be in that England side as well as, you look at the likes of Jamal Lascelles and Shelby as well. So 100% NUFC. Ari Sharkey, goal scoring is going to be a real problem for England. The Dutch were poor, solid at the back, but final third, similar to Newcastle, we were. Well, I think that's why Harry Kane's so crucial to England. If Harry Kane's not there, I just don't think Marcus Rashford is going to be that answer. I think Kane is your fox in the box and score goals as well. Shea, giving the player ratings there. Kyle Walker, Lingard, 8. Trippier, 8. Speaking of players, I thought Kieran Trippier was quite impressive at right wing back. That gives Rafa there, gives Southgate some options from there. There wasn't massive. I just think it was a poor game overall. The quality. Yes, England had a lot of possession. It was pretty comfortable. Kyle Walker looked okay in that right centre back, but I just don't think Kyle Walker playing at centre-back is the answer. Is Jordan Pickford, I know he's a Mackham and all that, but put that on one side. Is he the answer going into the World Cup? For me, he's not. I'll go for Jack Butland. I think Jack Butland has a better overall game than what Pickford. Pickford's more flashing for the flashy saves. But I think overall, Butland it would be my goalkeeper going into the Euros as well. Kevin says, I hate the international break. Yeah, it's frustrating, I know, because we don't have any games for 3 weeks in. Liam says, I don't rate Holland at all. We won't move forward with an English manager. So, Liam, do you reckon we should go appoint a foreign manager? If so, who? Ancelotti, maybe? Anyway, 100%. I would chart England will get the last 16 if we're lucky, and then get put on penalties as we normally do as well. We won't even get the quarterfinals, says Liam. Spot on. Sorry, I'm just reading your comment about Steve McLaren. Liam says if Glenn Murray was a young guy, he would take him for England. Yeah, he probably will. Probably ages against him as well. I thought the game would be better. Yeah, Jack, it was a poor game. It was a poor game. Yes, we dominated possession, but to be honest, we won 1-0. Great strike by Jesse Lingard. He impressed as well, Lingard as well, but I have to say, I think Zuet, the Dutch keeper, should be doing a lot better for me. I think he's got to be saving it. I think it's a side foot scuff from the edge of the box, which is not a million miles off him. For me, I think the goalkeeper has to save that, but well done, Jesse Lingard, got with a win. Overall, yeah, you would say England probably deserved to win that game, but marginal mind. We've only dominate possession for my eyes. And will we beat Italy, says Jack. Again, another side who hasn't qualified, Italy, isn't it? They're going through a totally revitalising their squads. The one player I would advise you to watch out for is a young Italian called Chiesa. His dad, of course, was absolutely fantastic in the 90s for Fiorentina, so keep an eye out for Chiesa. He's a youngster, he'll go far in the game as well, so do keep an eye for him. I hope one centre-back gets an injury. Well, it looks like Joe Gomez has got that share. Sharky says Italy on Tuesday is a real test despite the Italians not being at the World Cup. They have genuine quality, they do, and they're very defensive as well, but they're very tactical as well, so we'll have to see how it goes. I know the result doesn't take effect in a friendly one experiment, which I'm happy Southgate's done tonight. So I am happy that his experiment isn't the way forward for me though. Not personally, I wouldn't do that as well. Liam says, what annoys me, we struggle in the qualifying group, imagine the big teams. Yeah, we always seem to do well in qualifying and the friendlies, but when we get that tournament, we always seem to struggle. Maybe it's nerves and so on. The 3-4-3 formation, I'm not a massive fan of it, but if you are going to play it, don't play it right back at centre-back, please, Southgate. If you're going to play 3 centre-backs, play 3 genuine out-and-out centre-backs. So you probably say, yes, it's not the first. I mean, I like Harry Maguire. I would start Harry Maguire. I think on form, he's right up there, and he can bring the ball out as well with Southgate once. I think that's what goes against Jamal Lascelles, is he can't bring the ball out. He's not that type of, whereas Flavio Lejeune can. He can bring the ball out and ping one, whereas Jamal Lascelles not that type. I think that goes against him, how Southgate wants to play it. If he does play that 3 at the back, I'm happy with the wing backs. Rose, Walker or Trippier, whoever plays on that right flank, I'm pretty happy with that. The centre midfield, Jordan Henderson looked like he could captain the side. I think Southgate will probably pick Harry Kane to captain when the World Cup, but Chamberlain and Henderson, is that the answer? Dele Alli's had a poor season as well. If you go on form, for me, Dele Alli's not on that England side. For me, if you go on form, reputation, of course, he would do, but form, for me, Dele Alli gets out. I think it's been poor. I think it's been really poor this season, not like last season or the season before. Harry Kane picks himself, and I think I would start Sterling because he gives you a genuine threat with pace. Lingard, maybe on the left, maybe Rashford, whoever, Vardy, whoever. One thing I do like about England tonight is that we played with a lot of players who had pace, who can hurt and stretch your defence. I mean, if you look at that list, if I just get my book here, and you look at who started there, you talk about Walker's quick, you talk about Trippier on that right flank, Rose is quite nippy, you look at Chamberlain who can burst forward as well, Sterling, Lingard, Rashford, all have pace, so something that maybe we can look at in the World Cup. Vardy off the bench as well. So we do have some options. We've got injuries, of course, in that centre midfield, but I think the centre midfield is a problem. I think if he goes for Joe Hart in that World Cup in goal, I think that's a problem. If he plays 3 centre-backs, he has to play 3 out-and-out centre-backs for me. All in all, yeah, England should get out their group, I know Panama got beat tonight, but you would expect England to come in the top 2 at the very least, us and Belgium to go on. But, I'll do another live stream on Tuesday about the whole England game as well. And then when the summer comes round as well, we'll get it on the main channel. We'll get like some Sharky who's watching, Lisha, Will, and if we have a new presenter, whatever, we'll cover England a lot more. We'll do the build-ups like we do with the Tune games and stuff. But happy that we won, of course. But we've learned a few things. Kyle Walker looks alright at right centre-back, but I generally just don't feel that's the answer for me. Let's read in your comments before we wrap up as well. Coming up just before I recap, the podcast is out on iTunes and SoundCloud, but the video of that is coming up tonight. It's quite a lengthy video. It's about an hour long, so you'll enjoy that. So if you're going to the gym and so on, or you're going to work or whatever, it's a good listen for a good hour. We're talking about the past 6 weeks, so Ford is on there as well with Sharky as well. Let's quickly wrap up with your I thought Buffon retired from international football, but he played tonight. Yeah, he did actually. I remember Buffon coming out and saying, and I remember his crying when Italy didn't make it, but I don't know if Buffon's played tonight. That's interesting if he has. Sharky says England need to learn not to panic at the end of games as we opened up for the Dutch. Yeah, but the Dutch had to go and get to it, didn't it? But I think much more important in the World Cup is we'll try and break down teams, because the likes of Panama are going to put 10 men behind the ball, and you can't play Jamie Vardy in that, because Jamie Vardy just wouldn't get in behind the defence if you play that kind of football. But he's got to have an A and B for me. Shelby for Henderson, yeah, Liam, I totally agree. Shelby has at least got him in that squad. Alan Hudson says, hi Alan, are you alright? How are you doing? We're just wrapping up Alan, by the way. Jack says, Dele Alli dives so much. He does, but if he wins your penalty in the World Cup, you take it, wouldn't you? I know I'm flipping on the devil's advocate there, but he is a bit of a knob for diving in the Premier League. No one likes that, but if he wins us a free kick or penalty, I'm not going to complain, to be fair with you. Liam says, you know what we were like? We were averaged against teams. Showed against teams like Lithuania. Yeah, it is. But I mean, if we don't have a good World Cup, I generally think Southgate will be sacked if we don't have a good World Cup. Because I don't think Gareth Southgate is the answer going forward. He's lucky that he's got the position only because Sam Allardyce was sacked because he was trying to do dodgy dealings. But he didn't get the job on merit for me for Southgate. Yes, I know he's been groomed for the job, but 4-2-3-1 should be our formation, says Jack. Yep, could do 4-2-3-1. So who would be your 2 defensive midfielders though? Just more for the future games in the World Cup, like a plan B. Catch you later, Lee. Good stream. Yep, cheers, Sharky. Head over to Sharky 100% NUFC, covers 2 games as well. I'm going to wrap up. Remember, we've got the Under-23s video out today on the main channel, and we've got that podcast coming up. It'll probably be stupid o'clock, like midnight or 1 o'clock. That'll go out as well. England haven't been to the semi-final since 1990, says Liam. Yeah. Jack says Shelby and Diane's 2 centre midfielders. Why not? You know, let us know what you think if you're watching the rerun. Of course, this is a live stream. If you're watching the rerun, let us know any comments down there below. Liam Ryder, who's your man of the match? I'll go Trippier. Was my man of the match. I'm going to go for him. Let us know any comments down there below. See you later. Enjoy your night, everyone. Ta-da. Bye bye.